Super excited to share yet another amazing purpose journey and story with you. So honored to have our special guest on today. I would love to introduce you to Wendy, and thank you so much for joining us today, Wendy.
Thank you, Rose. I'm very excited to be here.
Awesome. So, just like the other stories, I'm going to hear her purpose story along with you. So, the simple question I'll just ask you is, where are you from, Wendy? Where are you? Where are you from?
I am born and raised in Minnesota. I was born and raised right in Minneapolis, and I live now in what used to be a small town and is more a suburb now. And we've been here for about 30 years on a little lake northwest of the Twin Cities.
Beautiful. All right. I would like you to take us all the way back to the beginning. So, where your purpose journey began, those first aha moments, all the way up till today. And I know you have a great story, so really excited to hear. Please share your purpose story.
Oh, thank you. I'm thrilled to share it with you. God has done amazing things in my life. And so I was going along, and have you ever compared yourself? Have you ever felt like, I know there's more inside of me, and you want to be that person? Well, I was going along and I was copying this friend. Oh, they're doing this well. I'll copy that. Oh, this person's doing that. I'm going to do that too. And copying and comparing myself unfavorably, feeling not enough, insufficient, and I was severely overweight, obese. And I was copying and comparing and competing and coveting other people's lives. And I was miserable. And then one Tuesday in May, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And they told me I had two football sized tumors inside of me. Didn't think that it was caught early. And if you're not familiar with ovarian cancer, it's called the silent killer because it's usually not caught early. And the symptoms are so, they could be anything. So you don't think that they're anything serious and you don't find out until it's too late. And at that time, about 85% of people who are diagnosed died. And God was at work, though, in so many ways in my story. And that was a Tuesday. Well, one of the first things he did got me into surgery in 3 days. And we put it out on prayer chains the next morning after we found out. And everybody we knew, and a lot of people we didn't know, were praying for me. 3 days later, when I went into surgery, they found one contained, still football sized tumor, but it was caught early. And that is so rare that I went through chemo, but they also asked if we would be part of a study. And I had weekly low dose chemo treatments for 6 months to see if that helps people who are diagnosed early. I am 22 years cancer free, and I know I'm a walking miracle. And when that happened, I knew from God, your story is forever changed. Your story is like no one else's in the world. And I created you uniquely. But that became my passion to tell you and everyone because so are you. And so is your story. And so the next year, in desperation to be healthier, I lost 50 pounds. That was the first domino that fell in many big goals being achieved. And being able to do that, we all, I think, have something that if I could do that, I could do anything. And that was if I could do that, I could do anything. And I felt like if God can do that in my life, there is nothing I can't do. Excuse me. And that, as I said, began. So big goals. After 60, I lost another 50 pounds. I started my business. I had a number of my biggest goals after 60. And I started my online business after 60. I grew an email list to over 12,000 in just a couple of years with a 37% open rate when the average is about 18 to 20. And we were able to, over the years, raise our children to adulthood, and we have great relationships with them, and they're walking with the Lord. And we were able to take a trip together with miles I'd saved to Italy, and many dreams and many goals. And I seek through that. And as I said, I have a passion to help you understand that God created you uniquely for a purpose and to find and fulfill that purpose. And then to inspire others, no matter what age you are, to keep seeking goals, setting goals, and achieving goals. And God wants you to be successful. He wants you to know your purpose and fulfill it. And so I have been on podcasts, I've become a speaker, I'm a writer, and just so many goals that I still have. But I know and have learned that also we're transformed more through our trials than our triumphs. And so my cancer story is a big part of my life story and my purpose. And so I hope that each one of you will not push aside the bad things or be bitter about them, but embrace them as part of, you hear the underside, there's an old analogy of the underside of a beautiful weaving and the dark threads, which are the hard and bad things in your life, are what make it so beautiful. And it's part of what makes you unique. So I hope to inspire others to fulfill their purpose, your purpose in life.
Wow, what a beautiful story, and as you said, unique. It is your story, and God helped you to share that, and now gives you all these platforms to share and inspire others with, and to inspire them to see their unique purpose and hopefully to embrace that. So, wow, first just want to celebrate what an amazing journey and story that you've had, and now, just celebrating that you help others, and you have these platforms to share your story on. So beautiful, Wendy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you were saying that you get to also fulfill your dreams and spend time with your family, and aligned with all of those things. What would you say to people who are really stuck in not feeling like there's enough time to spend in pursuing and finding what their purpose is? And
Good question. I know that priorities are so important. And to take a step back sometimes is the most important thing you can do. And as a believer in Jesus, I say, well, you have a purpose because God created you. He created you and he wants you to know what that purpose is. And so to take the step back and to stop, which is hard. It's hard because there's so many urgent things, but to take time to think. I heard Brendan Burchard talk about this taking time to think. And it's such a powerful thing that we don't do as women. We're so busy. We get up and we hit the road running until the time when we fall exhausted into bed. But I know that back when I was raising small children and I was very, very, very busy, I thought, if I don't do it now, I'm going to miss my chance. And I want to communicate to you that that's not true. There are seasons in life. And I know as an older woman, I'm going to be 68 this month. And I know for a fact that I did not miss my opportunity. In fact, I'm more prepared now to have this business than I was then. I had a lot of things I needed to learn. I had a lot of experiences that I didn't, God needed to help me grow. And if you're supposed to do it, the time will be right. You don't have to push that door open and to just have peace and commit your life and your days and your weeks and your months and your life to God and the timing and rest. But we emphasize, I want to just say, I talked about the urgent and the important. And so important to think, what do you want to be said about you at the end of your life? If there's only 3 to 5 things that are important about you and your life and your purpose and what do you want those to be? As women, I really encourage your relationship. It's all about relationships in my mind. Relationship with God first. Relationship if you're married with your husband as a woman. Relationship with your children, third. And then after that, and I would say if you've got time, then there's the other things. So I really encourage you to just take a deep breath and recognize that you're living each day, be in the moment. Obviously I could talk for like days about this. To be in the moment, not miss the days you're living now, thinking about what you think you're missing later.
FOMO. Yeah, just being present in living your legacy, really being who the change that you want. And I love that. Just stopping to think and giving yourself that priority. And most important is our relationships. Our relationship with God
Mhm.
is the most important. And sometimes
Yeah.
He'll test us, and how we react to that is, you know it's in our control. He gives us the test, and if we react or we become a victim from what's happening, or
Mhm.
we surrender and let go, the different, that each way will lead us on a different path.
And time is very difficult for most women, but when we put in the most important, maybe not first thing in the day, but first in we make sure it happens. That requires saying no. And that was something God had to teach me back when I was in my 30s and 40s. And I had a real hard time saying no.
Mm.
And so that was before cell phones. So, I had to put a little note by the phone that was kind of a script that when I got a call, I would say, when do you need to know? Bye. And I will get back to you. I will, it won't be today. I will pray about that. I will talk to my husband and I will get back to you. Made it so much easier to say no later, and it was really life-changing for me. You can't say yes to the things that are your purpose unless you say no to the myriad of other things coming at you that aren't your purpose.
Exactly. You don't have the time if you don't say no to say yes. I
Yeah.
love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing it. I would love to hear what your future visions are, now starting off. And you were saying it's never too late to start on a new chapter. So would love to hear your future visions of how your purpose is unfolding.
Thank you, Rose. It's an interesting life journey. And because of my weight loss, I've lost almost 100 pounds, maybe more, because when you're as overweight as I was, you don't weigh yourself as much. So I'm not exactly sure how much, but around 100 pounds I've lost. And I've lost, as I said, 50 pounds over the age of 60. I've lost 25 pounds in the last 2 years. And I've lost 10 pounds in the last 2 months. And I'm now 15 pounds away from my wedding weight, which I'm headed towards. And so I have a new um, offer to help you, anyone listening, to, if you have weight that you want to lose, if you want to shed weight and you know it's holding you back from accomplishing your purpose, I have the superhero weight loss system. And that there's a free masterclass that you can sign up for. And just the system that has allowed me to lose the weight and to feel good about how I look and gain the confidence to pursue goals and to fulfill my purpose. And I want that for you as well.
Beautiful. And yeah, great master class. So thank you for sharing that. And, a lot of women, myself included, can just help need a little bit of that support to get through and
Mhm.
get to the weight,
Yes,
lose the weight that we want, and to help take care of ourselves first so that we can serve
right,
others. So
right. And that is at superhero weight loss system.com, where
perfect.
you can sign up for that, and that's free.
Awesome. And we'll share that after in a slide as well. So well, I just want to thank you so much, Wendy. Today was such a blessing to have you on and sharing your story and your journey and your tips and your future vision
Thank you,
with us.
Rose.
Just celebrating you and very grateful to have you on today.
Thank you so much, Rose. It was a joy to be here.